Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront video. In today's video I will be talking more about the upcoming DLC to Star Wars Battlefront, and today I'll be discussing the possible Clone Wars DLC. Remember that this is all speculation and just my own thoughts on what could be in the Clone Wars DLC if it is actually added to the game. So as you all know now, Battlefront DLC is bringing new locations, galactic tech, heroes and villains, and game modes to Star Wars Battlefront in early 2016. And I really believe that the Clone Wars will be a perfect fit for Battlefront. Maybe it will need its own full game to cover everything in depth and make it as brilliant as it could actually be, or maybe DICE and EA are going to bring their own take on the Clone Wars to us via Battlefront DLC packs. First off is locations. We could easily see 16 new maps on Battlefront from the Clone Wars era on planets such as Naboo, Geonosis, Tatooine, Kashyyyk, and Mustafar, which would suit Battlefront's style since every battle in the Clone Wars was fought out on a relatively large scale. I think that many fans of the prequels, the Clone Wars TV series, and Star Wars in general would love to see this happen. I think it has a lot of potential, although DICE and EA ruled out the prequels for Battlefront originally, but then again, recently they tweeted out replying to a question about the Clone Wars, telling us to wait for more season pass details. Now onto galactic tech. The Clone Wars weapons are a lot different to the weapons used during the original trilogy period. We had droids using specific weapons and equipment made for the Federation army, and the clones using their own unique variety of weapons and equipment such as the E5 blaster rifle and the Super Battle Droids wrist blasters. In the original Battlefront game, we've seen a large variety in classes for both Republic and Federation armies, so maybe EA and DICE can adapt the weapons and equipment from those classes and apply them to Star Wars Battlefront weapons and star cards to be released within DLC. Along with these weapons and star cards, Clone Wars vehicles could easily be implemented into Battlefront in the DLC packs, such as the AT-TE, which could be used in Clone Wars Walker Assault on Battlefront instead of the AT-AT, and the Federation AAT if DICE and EA are willing to put ground vehicles into future DLC packs to add more variety to the games we play. Now we move on to one of the most talked about and one of the most interesting parts of this topic, which, as always, is heroes and villains. The Clone Wars will certainly have a wide variety of heroes and villains to choose from, making this part of the DLC quite attractive. I personally believe that the heroes added to Battlefront via DLC packs from the Clone Wars period would be Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I would really love to see, as he played a crucial part in the prequel movies, building the story of the movies up to the point of A New Hope. Then I'd like to see Padme Amidala to take the place of Princess Leia and still give the option for players to use a blaster-wielding hero from the Clone Wars period. And finally, Anakin Skywalker, as he played a huge part in the entire Star Wars saga up until his death in Return of the Jedi, but also because he would be the Luke equivalent, fast with the lightsaber, with some powerful Force abilities, making him a strong hero to play as in Star Wars Battlefront. As for villains, there are many villains to actually choose from, but I have to start off choosing Jango Fett to be the Clone Wars equivalent of Boba Fett for obvious reasons, but he could easily be a very strong villain to come up against in Battlefront. Next, I think Darth Maul, because he is a huge favourite of many fans, and he was quite a powerful villain, putting up a tough fight against Obi-Wan in The Phantom Menace, but unfortunately his screen time was cut short. And finally, I think Count Dooku, because he could be the Emperor's equivalent for the Clone Wars DLC, but also I don't think it would be right to add the Emperor again, considering he is in the vanilla game anyway. But there will only be 4 heroes and villains added through DLC, so these are my top picks for who I think will be in the game if DICE and EA choose to add Clone Wars DLC to Star Wars Battlefront. But the likelihood of them adding Clone Wars DLC, I don't think it's very high chance of them doing it, because with the new movies coming out, it's going to take the attention away from the Clone Wars, which was everyone's favourite, and they're going to focus on the new movie because that's what all the hype is at the moment. That's what everyone wants to see. So I really do think that the 4 DLC packs we will get from the season pass will be The Force Awakens, with the 3 DLC packs actually being from the original trilogy. I'm not 100% sure though. Like I said, this is all speculation. This is just my thoughts. This isn't 110% fact. So smash a like obviously if you've enjoyed this video, and also comment down in the section below if you think there is any hero or villain who should be added above the people I've actually chosen. I was thinking at one point for Mace Windu and Yoda, but I do think Yoda will be added through DLC, the 3 DLC packs, if they do the original trilogy 3 DLC packs. Subscribe as well if you want to be kept up to date with all things Star Wars. I will be trying to post more daily, but it is just trying to get on top of that actual routine, but hopefully that'll start to happen soon. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, then I guess I'll see you again tomorrow, so may the Force be with you.